Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the conference. Let's start it off good here tonight, or this morning. So my name is Adam Zek, and I'm the founder and CEO of UCX, the Universal Compute Exchange. UCX, we are an on-demand spot exchange that brings cloud service providers together with enterprise organizations at one location in order to be able to buy and sell compute resources. So from that standpoint, we use, in order to make that happen, we use standardized contracts as well as over-the-counter customized contracts to provide an ability to have an apples-to-apples comparison. That provides the ability for market competition, and it enables the organizations to actually engage in the price discovery, trade execution, and the physical delivery of compute resources. So really, UCX, we trade the cloud. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. Let's back up. I am a former Eurodollar spread trader and broker, and that's me. I was a crazy guy in the pits, yelling and screaming, buying and selling stuff and trying to make money. It was, I gotta tell you, in the heyday, it was awesome. I would tell you it was probably one of the few places in the world where you could work, where you would go to work and there's a good chance that you were either involved in an altercation or a fight, or there's a fight around you, or because you're so jammed in there that there's a good chance that you could probably actually get spit on, which is not even that fun. But during that time period, there was a market evolution that took place. The market transitioned from the pit trading, which was very inefficient, to the highly efficient electronic trading. And during that time period, in order for me to succeed, I had to evolve. I had to change with the times. And during that time period, what I realized is I kind of discovered the why. And really the why was that I looked at compute resources and what they were doing to change everything that we were doing today. If you think about it, compute resources are the absolute underlying resource that provides value and wealth for every organization out there today. Without compute resources, without the ability to run your applications, to run your websites, to run your different analytics or logistics, you would have zero ability for that company to probably survive. So if you think about it from that perspective, compute resources are that underlying asset. They are today the largest worldwide digital commodity out there. And as we are moving forward, we're going through that market evolution. So history will tell us that every market evolves to more efficient manners. So it starts out with a one-to-one actual transaction that takes place, more customized. And then it moves into a marketplace where you have multiple products at one location, and then it moves into more of a customized, standardized aspect. And that's what we're seeing today in the cloud markets. It started out as private infrastructure, moved into more of off-premise cloud infrastructure, offering different types of instances. And UCX, based on the demand of the enterprises, are bringing it more into a competitive, standardized way. So let me kind of go through some of the challenges, some of the problems that exist in the industry today. And I'm going to go through each one of these kind of quick, but these are kind of the secrets that the industry is kind of going through. So I know that there's a tremendous amount of developers in here, so I'll try to make this quick. You guys probably already know this. So I'm going old school here. So if you think about it, every one of the current cloud service providers today sells their compute resources in what is called an instance. And an instance is basically just a box. It's a box of allocated resources. So you get a certain amount of CPU, certain amount of memory, certain amount of storage, and then the IOs. And for, let's say, $99 a month, you're allocated those resources. But the dirty little secret is that based on IDC, Forrester, Gartner, that only about 6 to 12% of those allocated resources are actually being consumed. So there's anywhere between 88 and 94% of these allocated resources being wasted. So think about, I mean, give you a quick analogy. Think about back in the day you had the cell phone minutes, where you would buy a block of 1,000 cell phone minutes. Well, the cell phone carriers, they didn't care if you only used 200 minutes. You still paid for all 1,000. That is currently what is happening today. You are paying for an allocated amount of resources instead of an actual real-time amount. The next problem is that each one of the cloud service providers provides their instances in a little bit different every time. So it makes it difficult for an enterprise or even an organization to be able to compare a tall thin box or an allocated amount to a short and fat or even a large and big. So it makes it very difficult for an enterprise to say, okay, where is the true apples to apples comparison? Where do I find value looking at all these different cloud service providers? And then the third aspect is that when you are an enterprise organizations, you have all your private infrastructure and you're looking to move that into the cloud. The cloud service providers want you to go to one location, obviously. I mean, they're looking for the biggest market share. All I would say is that we don't know what we don't know. And the only thing I will tell you is change is constant. So having the ability or giving the enterprises the ability or the power to, if they wanted to make a change or make a movement, levels the playing field. It levels the balance of power. Instead of having one organization or one cloud service provider putting all your hooks in your organization. So UCX, we went out and looked to solve these problems. So what we've done is we've introduced, obviously our exchange, but we've introduced real-time utility contracts. So instead of having this waste, you actually only pay for that 6 to 12% that you actually consume. So use as much as you want, the meter just spins a little faster. Think of it just kind of like your electric bill. The other thing we did is we went out and licensed the only patented algorithm that turns compute processing power into a standard unit of measure. Now that provides the ability for a complete apples to apples comparison amongst the different cloud service providers in a dollar per unit fashion. This makes it very, very easy for an organization to understand value. And the other thing that we did is by having those two, the ability to compare, now we've brought in market competition. We provided the ability for the agility of enterprises to move to one location or the other based on market conditions, as well as because we have the ability to meter the current private infrastructure of those different organizations, we now have the ability for them to benchmark what they're currently consuming internally against the open market and decide and provide the ability for them to make informed, educated decisions on when they're looking to move certain applications. So let me step back and tell you a little bit about the workload allocation cube. UCX, we licensed the exclusive worldwide irrevocable perpetual rights to that algorithm to create financial products. Basically what it does is it takes the 6 core components and turns it into a unit of measure. So it takes CPU, memory storage, disk I/O, LAN I/O, and WAN I/O. And as an application runs or works, it uses various amounts of those compute resources. But it's able to provide an actual unit of measure. But we didn't stop there. So what we did was we said, okay, when you're going to buy your compute resources from the cloud, there's more things than just the 6 core components. There's a ton of things that go around that. So we wrapped performance, SLA, security around that. And then we went a step further. We said, okay, we are an exchange. It's our fiduciary responsibility to ensure that the cloud service provider members of our exchange meet your standards. So we have gone through a complete due diligence of all our cloud service providers. We actually have a third-party auditor that goes out and visits each one of those locations, ensures of their certifications, ensures of their security levels, and makes sure of their financial viability. Other things we've done is like, hey, well, I'm not just looking for compute resources, I'm looking for a tremendous amount more wrapped around there. So such things as load balancers, firewalls, different amounts of storage. Those kind of aspects you can either add on or they're included in the current contracts. And most importantly, we're relatively soon going to be adding the ability for you guys, the developer, the technologist, to be able to provide ratings and reviews based on what you're actually receiving, what kind of
customer experience.
Yeah, customer experience you get. So we're an exchange, and we needed three things to move forward in order to be an exchange. So we stayed in stealth for a long time. First thing we did was we licensed the unit of measure, but then we went out and we got the largest commodities exchange in the world, the CME Group, and we signed a 20-year license agreement with them. Three things occurred with that is, first of all, they provide us a tremendous amount of support and assistance through the creation, development, and ongoing assistance of UCX, which is awesome. The second thing they did was they provided us a complete trading platform. We're able to do up to 40,000 trades per second on the trading platform that we have. So we can do enormous things. Third thing is, bless you, third thing is that we have the ability, on the third aspect of it is that they believed in what we were doing so much that they licensed from us the ability to create, list, trade, settle, and clear our derivative products. So UCX, we're going to trade the underlying spot market. So actual physical delivery of those compute resources, of those cloud resources. The CME will trade the futures and options. The last thing we did is we need to have buyers and sellers. So what we did is we went out and got massive enterprises and cloud service providers, brought them together and began trading. And we have been trading since February of 2015, and the hockey stick of volume is moving up. So let me show you kind of how it works. So what we've created is we've learned from the market. We've created what is called the transparent price ladder. Think of this as Priceline meets Expedia meets a commodities market. So as you can see, as you go to the exchange, you can pick a contract and look at the contract specifications. These organizations right now are the ones that meet your current specifications. You have the ability to, number one, you can select, oh, well, I only want to use IBM. I only want IBM to offer my compute resources. You can do that. You can do a breakout price ladder. Number two, or you can have a commodity price. So every one of those cloud service providers that meet those specifications have the ability to provide an anonymized price. The reason why we did that is we had a cloud service provider who lost a major contract and had excess capacity. And they brought it onto the exchange, dropped the price, and customers came out of nowhere to buy these products at a reduced level. Now, you can't get that in the market today without UCX. So let me kind of show you how it works. So you come in, you can see the overall market information. You can have the market understand and compete for your business. If you want to go through the product specifications, you can. Then you could say, okay, well, I only want to actually have Rackspace or IBM compete for my business. Well, you can do that and select it, as well as always keeping in mind where the commodity market is. So the last thing is you go ahead and just buy a contract, at which point a trade execution occurs and you're able to begin the provisioning, migration, orchestration process. So in conclusion, basically what we're here to do is provide an open, transparent market. We're here to, first of all, save you money. I mean, I've been talking to different VCs out there. If there's a VC out there and you have a list of portfolio companies that are running through your investment, come see us. We can help you guys in regards to trying to help you save money. The second thing is, obviously, we want to help reduce waste, but overall market competition and balancing the power is what we're looking to provide. So I'm kind of done with my presentation, but I'd love to talk to anybody. If anybody has any questions, we are really close to the front door. So again, my name's Adam Zek. This is Tim Martin, and we are UCX. Thank you.